My next guest is a film producer and a former GOP candidate who has pitched products to Disney in the past. She says the company, Disney's wokeness, will be their downfall. Deborah Flora is the Parents United America president and joins me now. Deborah, that's a strong word to use, downfall. What do you mean by it?
What I mean is, for too long, companies that are giving into wokeness, what they're realizing, first of all, is the woke mob will never be satisfied. You have to go further and further and further. And when you see a company like Disney, who's very demographic, that they are supposed to be serving our parents and children, and you see this tack to the far left, basically, to the woke mob, they are not representing the very people that they're supposed to be serving. And honestly, I think about Walt Disney, who must be rolling over in his grave. He created Disneyland as a place where parents and children could go to escape the cares of the world, not to be overcome with an agenda, an ideological agenda that actually robs them of their world of wonder and replaces it with wokeness.
Yeah, fair enough. We could get into that a lot more, but I want to refer to your new film. It's called Whose Children Are They? And it tells the story of schools' anti-parent agendas and radical indoctrination of children. I got all of that. I just have one specific question. Are you opposed to teaching gender identity entirely? Just don't teach it. Don't do it in schools at all. Is that where you're coming from?
No, I think many people, it's a straw man argument. Those of us who really believe in parental rights and protecting the innocence of children, we're not against the teaching of real history, for instance, versus CRT, which is, by its own founders described as not being real history. We're not against the teaching of sex education if it is age appropriate and at the right time. So the reality is, it is no longer the sex education we all imagine, which would be reproductive biology. There is an indoctrination element. And when you are looking at teaching children as young as 3, 4, 5 years old in kindergarten, they are honestly supposed to be going to school just to learn how to be potty trained, socialized, color with crayons.
Is there any age at which you think it's legit for the teaching staff of a school to teach about gender not gender differences, but gender preferences or gender bending?
I think the difference is this. Schools are supposed to return to what they are, which is teaching education, not indoctrination. Certainly, we are not about turning a blind eye to the world as it is and teaching children to be kind and respectful to one another, but then teaching actual gender theory as if it is something that is their place to do. The reality is it can be reflected, but the people who are pushing this have actually said we want to move beyond kindness. They want to move to indoctrination. So it's not an ignoring of the world as it is, but it's an understanding, especially children under the age of 8 are in what we call concrete thinking. You tell them about, Santa Claus or the Easter Bunny, they say that is me, that is real. There is a concerted effort to have this below the age of 8, 9, 10, 11. And sex education used to be in middle school, which is much more age appropriate. It was reproductive biology, and it is not ignoring or not teaching kids to respect and honor one another. You can do that without indoctrinating them into a specific ideology.
Okay, it's Whose Children Are They? That is your documentary. Thanks for coming on the show this morning, Deborah. We appreciate it very much so.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Go to whoschildrenarethey.com. Thank you.
You got it in.